Hello everyone, welcome back to the video. Toyota Projects 22RE. This is to save the 85 pickup. Yesterday I got rid of the 4Runner already. It went out to Toyota Heaven. So that will be that went to someone else. So if you guys need the parts, you guys need to contact him. We have the engines inside the garage. So this is the original one. This is the original one that has a hole right there and has a hole right there. It was somewhat still running on its last leg. So I'm gonna go ahead and start by tearing down. I'm gonna tear this down to the block. I want to pull the heads off. If the heads are good, keep them for spare, because apparently 22RE stuff are pretty hard to find nowadays, even though they were a very popular engine. So I'm gonna tear this down, keep as much things as possible, and then I'll go ahead and start tearing down into our new engine. I have this one on an engine hoist right now, supported by an engine hoist, because this engine stand is really not that strong. I don't have enough bolts, so this one was starting to bend. So I'm gonna have this up here for now. Once I'm done with this, I'll remove the block off this engine stand, and I'll use this engine stand because I think this one's way more stronger. So I'll put this motor onto the engine stand. But for now, let's go ahead and start tearing down the original motor and go from there. In the meantime, I am sending my injectors to Injector Masters. They're located in Oregon, and they rebuild injectors. So I did that on my 3.4 motor. They charge about $25 each per injector, so that's only $100 for them to refresh it. So that's gonna be sent today. Let's go ahead and start tearing things open. I did notice a few things. Oil pans are the same on both of the engine, even though one was solid axle, one was IFS. My oil pressure sensor on the original truck is different from the other one, I think. So we're gonna have to use my style because I don't want to switch anything. So it's just those little things you want to keep in mind. Fuel filter, we'll put a new one, so I'm not gonna bother removing this. We'll keep that on there, and they all have those little sensors. So all these sensors, you want to make sure you keep it. The engine bracket was all the same, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull all that and keep that for spare as well. This mount here for the tranny down here, the two arms, this one is cracked and broken, so we're not gonna worry about that. So let's go ahead and remove the other intake manifold. Wow, the stuff are loose. These bolts are loose. I didn't do these bolts yet, so some of them are really loose already. Some of them are also missing. I am also gonna do the EGR delete on this rig. You guys know me, I love doing the EGR deletes. Yeah, this one is missing some intake manifold bolts. So that one is kind of hidden. We'll have to get through that with the winch, a ratchet wrench. So let me go ahead and finish this and we'll get back to it. That should be all the bolts for it. Unless I'm missing something. It's been a while since I've done a 22RE, so I might have forgot some things here. Oh, there's a little tube down here. I forgot about that coolant tube. Damn. So there's a lot of things that I don't remember. Okay, so there's that tube. There's the coolant hose right here. All right, so a few more things to detach. I went ahead and removed the oil filter, the fuel pump, the fuel filter. I'm gonna go ahead and move the oil pressure sensor unit so we can have more access down to the intake manifold. Oil pressure sensor is a 14 mil. It has a rubber boot right here, and it's more of just a protection boot. Oh, so that's what it looks like. Almost looks like a 3.0 oil pressure sensor unit. So make sure you save that. So I'm gonna be using this one. Still a little bit more oil in the block here, so try to drain as much so it's not messy and dirty. We'll go ahead and take off this sensor. This sensor I'll take off later. I think the one that's on the new engine is the same one, but you want to take these and keep those for spares and such. So now we have 10 mil. I'm gonna take this whole bracket off right now. This is a bracket. So that right there, that comes off. So I need to be considerate that there's an O-ring right here. So make sure I buy an O-ring for that. And there's coolant in there. So make sure you empty it. All of this stuff will get pressure washed and cleaned before they go back onto the engine, because that's just how I like to do things. I always like to put the bolts back where they belong so I don't lose them and I don't have to keep track of them. Okay, so there's an O-ring for that tube. I gotta make sure I order a new one. This intake don't want to come out yet, so let me remove the thermostat up here. I think there's a hidden bolt or something. Oh yeah, there's this bolt here. Don't forget about this bolt. This is a hex bolt right here. That's what it was. Yep, this one here. Let me take this out real quick. I remember about that when I did this engine a long time ago. There's a hidden hex bolt right here. Let me take this thermostat housing off. All of this will get clean. So we'll put a new thermostat as well. Don't forget that. Always put new stuff while you can, you know. So we'll put a new thermostat. I'm gonna leave this one in there just for the heck of it. All right, yep, we have this hidden bolt right here. So that's a hex bolt. Let me get that real quick. Don't forget this bolt right here. I'm glad that I'm working on this 22RE while it's out of the engine, while it's out of the truck, or else I'll be screaming everywhere. All right, there it is. Working on the engine out of the engine bay is way more fun or easier because you can reach more things and just so much more better, guys. So all this will get washed. There it is, now it'll come out. So yep. So this truck will get new gasket as well, intake gasket, manifold gasket, all this stuff will get new. And again, it's gonna get clean before we put this back on here. I think the cylinder head is also still good, so hopefully this head is good. So yeah, don't forget that right there. We'll put it right back in here. And this will get pressure wash. This needs a good pressure wash and a heavy degrease. So that's the lower intake manifold. I have my table over here with the torque layout. Okay, so that's all we need over here. This is an EGR. This will get blocked off right here. Timing chain plate, this right here, all this will come out, but we'll do that in a bit here. There's a tube right here that comes out too. This piece here goes on the back of the timing cover. Yeah, so this right here will come out too. So it looks like there's a gasket for this section, so make sure we get the gasket for that as well. I'm also kind of recording this, so in case later on I mess up, I can go back and watch and see where things go. So that's the timing cover. That goes behind there. There's a little bit coolant in there, so make sure you drain it. The engine mount, let's go ahead and remove the engine mount. That can come out just because we might want to save that for future uses. This whole block is trash, so we want to throw away the block but keep everything that's good. Engine block is usually 14 mils. So this is the engine mount for the passenger side. I'll see which one is in better shape with the bushings, and then I'll keep that one. All right, let's just go ahead and remove this sensor here. So this sensor on the passenger side is a yellow one, so make sure we keep that in mind. I'll probably go ahead and label that. This bracket down here is broken, so I'm not gonna remove that. There's a little plug right here, so we don't need anything else from this side here. So let's see what size this is. This is most likely a 24. Is it a 24? Yep, it's a 24 mil. Oh, that was super loose too. I don't know what this one is. This might be like a knock sensor. I think it is a knock sensor. So that is right there. So yellow one. Let me go ahead and label this so I don't lose it. Time to knock out the driver's side. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove this valve cover, just get this out of the way. It's also a good way to inspect the valve train, see how healthy this motor is. So you got 4 10 mils, 12 mils. This will get all new valve cover gasket. I like using these little totes right here, so I'll throw all the miscellaneous stuff in here so I don't lose it. Valve cover, all these groundments, they're gonna get trashed. You can get new ones, and also this stuff doesn't need to be kept. So, oh, the valve engine is pretty, it's not super gunked up, but it's pretty, well, you can see right there, the valve cover is actually pretty clean. Usually it's pretty all gunked up and dark and oily, but valve cover looks healthy. So the cam itself looks pretty healthy, typical engine, nothing crazy. So we'll inspect the timing chain once we get down there. So let me set this aside. Valve cover gasket, this right here gets trash. I might order those half moon, the metal ones. If not, I'll just use the rubber ones. So yeah, the valve train looks pretty good, doesn't look bad. Doesn't look too gunked up. This engine did get hydro locked, so hopefully it doesn't get rusted out inside here. I also love the fact that the 22RE, there's no valve shims. You do the little clicks right here, so that's pretty nice. So I've never removed a valve. I have never removed a head off a 22RE. So I'll have to go read the book and see what the proper procedure is, but I want to make sure I do it correctly because this head is most likely still good. But let me clean it up real quick. Just get as much stuff off as possible. Okay, so let's go ahead and start removing this stuff here. I might remove the stuff in the front first though. Let me take off all the stuff in the front. The belts right here, we don't need the belts. I'm gonna get new belts. Let's see if the harmonic bouncer comes out. That's a big 19 mil. There we go, harmonic bouncer bolt, 19 mil. So it looks like they cheaped out. They put some RTV here. It must have had a front main seal leak. The harmonic balancer is always a fun piece to remove. It has to come out in order for the timing cover to remove. The water pump is original Toyota ASIN, so that's good. That's a good water pump. Let's go ahead and remove this alternator out of the way. Alternator is a 14 mil. So 14 mils for the alternator. Make sure we don't lose any of that. This is a washer, a nut, and a lock washer. So this is the big bolt down there. And you got one bolt that goes through the timing cover as well. I'm gonna put this back in here. The big bolt, I'm gonna slide it back in so I don't lose it. It goes like that. So there's a washer, a lock nut, and then a nut. Simple as that. All this stuff would need to be cleaned, guys. I don't ever throw these bolts back in the way they are. I always clean them, wire brush them, and use degreaser. It's a good habit to get into. So that's the alternator. Alternator still works. This might be the original Toyota. Let's do engine mount right here. There's an engine, this is a coolant tube right here. It's kind of weird how they designed that. It's tied in within the engine mount, so interesting. Alright, so engine mount comes out, it goes behind it, and then there's another piece that's for it, so interesting. So this right here is still held right here. So right there. So with the alternator bracket, it also bolts it down here. So keep that in mind. So this will get clean too. And then you have another 14 mil that holds the alternator bracket. So alternator bracket, it's being held by the 2 bolts here, and then also the 2 bolts that's with the frame. So that's the alternator bracket right there. We'll keep this into consideration. Don't lose that. And then the engine mount, don't lose that. And then the dipstick. I'm not sure if we want to remove this dipstick. This dipstick doesn't come out, I think. It does come out, but it's like really seated in there, so we're not gonna mess with that. We'll take the dipstick out though. But the dipstick housing is quite there. So we'll put that back right there. And then we got this tube right here. This tube is the coolant tube. That comes out and then it goes back behind here. So if this was in a truck, then it'd be really hard to get to. So that. Behind the timing cover. I'm gonna remove this bracket here. This bracket here is 14 mil that's right here. So that comes out. This is a bracket right here. All that comes out, and then we have access to that tube. It's a 12 mil right here. I'm gonna get my 12 mil in there. I'll be honest, the 3/4 is way more easy to work on than this. Alright, so this tube is out. This is a coolant tube that goes on the driver's side. It doesn't use a rubber O-ring or anything like that, but it does have a gasket that goes behind it, so make sure we keep that into consideration. Don't forget the gaskets, man. Always make sure you have the right gaskets. Put these bolts back in here. That just filled inside that. That's all good. I'll take that out later. This right here is the tube. This right here is your freeze plug for the drain. This is to drain your coolant inside the block, so you can take this out later. We don't have to worry about that. This bracket here is not broken. The other side was broken, so this one I'm gonna leave it on here for now because I don't really need it yet. So I'll deal with that later. And then now we just need to work on the timing cover. So let me take out the fan shroud, the fan clutch. Fan clutch is removed. Got the water pump removed. The water pump looks really good, man. Toyota one, and it still sounds really good. I wonder if I should reuse it, but there's the thing, you know, you should never reuse it. Put it new while you can. So I need to get this harmonic balancer out, and then I can get to the oil pump. This is the oil pump, and after that we can unbolt the timing cover, but we also have to drop the oil pan and do a few other things. So I'll see how I want to do it. Right now I need to get this harmonic balancer out. Everything over here is good. Don't need to mess with anything else. Let's go ahead and probably try to get that harmonic balancer out. You can see they put some glue or something in there, but I don't know why they did that. Jeez, that's horrible. Almost looks like freaking expansion foam or something. But this timing cover is the original ASIN timing cover, so I want to keep this timing cover because I think the one that's on this engine is the aftermarket one, and usually the original one just fits more better. So definitely try to salvage the timing cover. Here's my puller that I use. It's from AutoZone, OEM to 2709. Puts it right there, 19 mil. Comes right out. There it goes. Easy, easy. Take that out and then shoot your... These guys come out. Just like that. Oh yeah, they put a bunch of crap in here. I don't know what that is. You guys see that? It's like some kind of foam or something. It was definitely leaking. Front main seal was leaking, so they'll probably try to substitute it. You can see I also put a little socket in there. That's a little 5/16 socket so that the main bolt doesn't go all the way in. So that's what I usually do. So yeah, there's some stuff in here. Alright, we can go ahead and remove the oil pump. This is your oil pump, so I always like to replace that as well. That's the original Toyota. Let me go ahead and do that. Oil pump is removed. Don't forget the gears. These are all the gears. You have 2 ring gears in there, so when you take them out, put them back in there. And there's your front main seal. I'll probably go ahead and reuse that. And these are all the bolts to it, so I'm gonna keep them the way they are. Two of the long ones, they also bolt into the timing cover, so that's the reason why they're long. And there's a rubber O-ring seal, so don't forget that O-ring seal, because that's what's gonna leak. If you have that, that's gonna leak. I'm not sure if this is normal, but this is my first time doing it. So that bites into the gears, but I don't know if that's supposed to move back and forth like that. Pretty interesting. So we'll go ahead and remove the timing cover. Timing cover, there's a bolt right there. There's a bolt in this oil valley, and then we have to remove this. We have to remove this timing distributor tooth right here. This needs to come out. This rubber goes out, come out. This half moon comes out, so you can get to that bolt. And then we'll start removing the timing cover. I'm gonna have to drop the oil pan, so I'll probably go ahead and drop the oil pan now. So that'll probably be my next one. So let me drop the oil pan, and then after that, we'll start doing the timing cover. Once we do that, we can start doing the cams and take out the block and go from there. The rest of the block, I'm not gonna bother with, like the pistons and stuff like that. I might take off the pistons and the crankshaft just so that it's lighter for me to take to the dump. But other than that, that's pretty much it right there, guys. And like I said, we're gonna go ahead and keep this timing cover. This is a Toyota one, so keep that. So that's all there is to it. Bolts, bolts, bolts. This is definitely doable. If you're doing a timing cover job, it's doable because I've done it before with it being in the vehicle. But man, you have to remove a lot of stuff, and it's just tedious work. So that's what you have to consider. Oh, that's not the timing tensioner, is it? I love that the oil pan bolts are nice big 12 mils. They're 12 mils, not your typical 10 mils. 3430 Land Cruiser, they're usually 10 mil, little small bitty ones, but these are little nice big 10 mil. So we have it all unbolted. Let's go ahead and try to pop it open. Oil pan, that is. Put something underneath your engine block because it's gonna be dripping. So I have some pans in here. All right, let's see where we want to come from. Like the bottom down here is a little. There we go. We're also gonna keep the oil pickup too. Very hard to find 22RE parts. Oh, I'm surprised to see what kind of stuff we're gonna find in here, guys. This thing blew a rod, blew a crank, blew a connecting rod. Oh wow, look at that. So there's definitely parts in here. There's metal shavings and stuff. Oh yeah, you guys see that? Yep, it was still running though. That's crazy. Crazy, crazy. Let me go ahead and dump all this, super messy. Oh yeah, so cylinder 4, completely trashed out. The connecting rod that holds the piston completely went out. I just got done removing all the timing cover bolts. There was also a little 12 mil that goes right behind here, so it bites down to the timing cover. I didn't notice that. And then I shot the the distributor gear with the 19 mil. Remove the half moon, and then you have your distributor gear. Make sure this gear doesn't have any broken tooth, because last time I had some where it was a broken tooth. So this is what drives the distributor, and then you have the big bolt here. So don't lose this. Good for spare parts. And then now the timing gear, the main sprocket gear, it can come off, but we need to undo this 12 mil right here, and that should pop the timing cover off. So there's the secret. People forget about this bolt because it's in the oil valley and nobody ever sees it. So don't forget this one here. This little 12 mil right on top of it. You can't remove this until you remove that distributor gear, because that blocks it. So don't lose that. I'm gonna put these two together so I don't lose it. So that should pop the timing cover open now. Let me just double check. Let's pop it open and see if it. Yep, it's opening. There you go, guys. Boom. So let's take a look at the timing gear, the timing chain. So everything looks pretty good. No broken guys. Got oil on me. Yeah, timing cover looks in good shape. It's not broken. They use paper gasket, which is fine. So this will get clean and reused. So the timing guides are plastic, and people always change them out to metal ones, which is what I'm gonna do. So overall, it looks really good. I forgot the tensioner is down here. It's hidden inside the thing here. So the tensioner is right here. Tensioner is definitely worn out, so we'll get a new tensioner. But let me clear my gloves off so I can show you guys. Yep, looks pretty damn good. So this is that sprocket I was telling you guys. It was just sliding around. I want to take it out. There it is. So this right here was the oil pump thingy. So make sure you put this back. I'm gonna put this with the oil pump so we don't lose it. Okay, timing chain. Timing chain service. So these are the two guides right here. This one and this one, that's plastic. Oh, it's already starting to break off actually. Look at this, that's plastic right there, yep. So you wanna replace those with metal ones. Some people also do dual chain, and I'm not gonna bother doing that because we wanna keep this stock good. And this is your tensioner, so the tensioner gets installed first. It's not like your timing belt on 3/4 where the tensioner is on the exterior. But we'll go ahead and pop this out. We'll just go ahead and keep the chain for spare right now. We'll keep the sprockets. We're most likely gonna put new sprockets and such, but we'll hold on to all those parts for spare. This tensioner, we'll probably just hold on to it, but we're not gonna reuse it. It's pretty worn out. I'll show you guys that once we get there. So this chain can pop out pretty easy right now. Like I said, this thing will pop out and then this will go right down here. And you gotta be careful because this is the head right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop out the chain right now. So there goes the top sprocket. It has to come up. So there it is. And when you install this, they go in a particular way. You can't just put them on there. So let's take a look at the sprocket. So the sprocket looks pretty good. All the tooth are good. It's not damaged. We'll get a new kit, and the kit will have everything: sprockets, the upper, the cant, this big one, the crank sprocket. But we will save this for a future. You know, you can make it a little necklace, a little bling bling. But we'll save this for future use or whatever. And then you have the crank sprocket right here. This one's pretty good shape too. It's not bad, it's usable. I mean, if you're on a budget, you can just reuse it. So after you have that, that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna remove the guides here. These guys, well, maybe I'll remove them so you guys can see. They're a little bit loose. Oh, they are broken. So the guides are already broken. You see that? They're not supposed to do that. So the guides are already broken. So let me go ahead and put them out. These bolts that hold the guides, you want to keep them. They're special bolts. They're not your typical bolts. So these are the guides. That's your passenger side right there. The bolts are different. The passenger and the driver side is different. So you can see that one. That one's broken. It's supposed to look like this. So that's why it was moving back and forth. So yeah, these are just cheapo plastic ones. Don't really need them anymore. I'll probably just throw them away. Yeah, throw them away. And then the tensioner, let's just go ahead and remove that tensioner. You can see that tensioner's pretty worn out too. Not sure if you guys can see, it's really hard to show you, but you see those grooves? So that's pretty bad. But we'll hold on to it just for now, and then you want to keep those bolts right there. Bolts and hardware you always want to keep, because if you have to run to the hardware store and look for them, trust me, you ain't gonna be able to find the good ones. So keep your hardware. Alright guys, so we're pretty much done here. It's time to remove the head now. This dipstick holder, I think it's pounded in there, and I don't know if I can remove this or not, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and start removing the head. We'll probably go ahead and remove the crank later, just so that it's more lighter and I can go ahead and transport it, take it to the dump. But this is pretty much it. We'll go ahead and take all the stuff, all the bolts and hardware. We want to keep all that stuff. But I'm gonna go ahead and start removing the head. Let me do some research real quick and see how to do it. Thank goodness I have all these Toyota literature books. This is a Chilton manual book, and I found the pattern. So that's the removal pattern right there. So we'll go ahead and follow that sequence. This is my first time doing a 22 RE head removal, so it's a bit different from a 3.0, 3.4. 3.4 you got to remove the cams, and then you can get to it. On the 22 RE, the head bolts are right here. The head bolts is what holds the rocker. Once you pop these out, you can remove the head with the cam still attached to it, which is pretty cool. You don't have to remove the bearing caps and all that. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm gonna follow the sequence. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc., etc. So the way I do it is I use a long breaker bar, and you want to do it like you don't want to take out the bolt all at once. So we're just gonna go ahead and turn it till we get to right here, and then keep doing it until we give it evenly out, because this head might be still good. So let me show you guys a couple passes, and then I can proceed with it, because this will take a little bit long. And again, you don't want to take out the bolt completely, just do a few passes. Oh, it's not a 19. Is it 19? It's not a 19, 17. 17 mil. So we're gonna go like that. 1. They're not really torqued in there. They're only torqued to 58 foot-pound, which is pretty small. So we're doing like maybe half turn. That's 4, 5. Oh, that's already loose. This head is pretty loose. 6, 7, 8. Where's 8? 8? I can't get this one in there. My socket's too thick. Once you crack it open, then you can bring out the power tools and just so zip it. So 1, 2, 3. Boom, easy as that. And this whole thing comes out as one. Make sure they're all out right now. These are your rocker arm. A little persuasion. There we go. So there it is, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and label it. So they do have little arrows right here that points towards the front. You can barely see it, but I'm gonna put a zip tie on this end right here, so I know that this is the front over here. So that's it right there. That's how you remove your rocker arm. I'm going to set this aside. And then the head should come out just the way it is. Like I said, we don't have to remove this cam gear, this cam, which is pretty awesome. So the cam looks really good. It's not scored up or anything like that. There's only 1, 2, 3. There's only 3 bearing caps. How awesome is that? So let's go ahead and pop this head right here. And hopefully this head is still good. We can keep it for future uses or sell it to the black market. Whoa, there it is. There's some oil inside of it, so I gotta drain the oil real quick. Oh yeah. Oh wow, guys. Oh, you guys gotta see this. Holy smoke. That's crazy. There's the head gasket. This looks like OEM, so a good gasket. Head gasket didn't blow up or anything. Throw that away. The head gasket on the 22RE is fairly cheap, man. I was doing some window shopping for 22RE stuff, and one thing I like about that is that parts are pretty affordable. They're not expensive as like other parts. So that's one thing I like. So this head here, let's take a look at this cylinder head and see if it's any good. So you want to look for crack. Oh wow, so this cylinder head is still good. I don't see any cracks or anything like that. So we'll call it good. I gotta find a place to set this down. Look at that. That is cylinder 4. Flew out to Mars. I don't even know if we can get cylinder 4 out no more. I think it's like slam in there. But cylinder 1, 2, 3 was all running still. So how crazy was that? Man. I bet you this block was still good too before they blew it like this. So don't hydro lock your engine. Let me go ahead and flip this around, and then we'll go ahead and remove the crank here just so that we can transport it more easy. If you don't care about it, you can just trash it the way it is right now. But I think I might go ahead and remove those that crank just for the heck of it. And then I still have to take out all the parts. All this stuff I'm not gonna remove yet until I take the block to the dump, because I also still want to keep this rear main seal, the cover for the rear main seal. That's still good to have too as well, so keep that for backup. But we'll go ahead and remove this block out from the engine stand here shortly. So when you flip this over, just be cautious. There might be some coolant. You can see there's still coolant oil in here, so have something on the floor here. There you have it, guys. We have the crank blocked, all removed. It's pretty much trash. This crank isn't good anymore anyways. The main bearing caps is all all scored. So all that's going to the trash. Block is done. Don't even talk about the block. The pistons are all bad too. These are all the other pistons that came out. They're all scored out. You see that? And they're the original one. You can see the Toyota logo right there, the Tech. So they're all original, but this one was decent. This one was okay, but these other two, all bad. All bad. And you can see this one here. This one's already bent. See that rod? That's a bent rod already. It's supposed to be nice and straight. It's supposed to move around like that. So all this is gonna be trash. No good, guys, no good. So there you have it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this video of this teardown. I'm gonna start tearing down this motor. It's gonna be very similar, so I'm not gonna film that. I'm gonna tear down this motor, make a list of all the stuff that I need. Once everything comes in and I put this thing back together, I'll make another video and update you guys on that. Otherwise, follow the Instagram. As of right now, we just need to do a lot of cleanup. Clean. Everything needs to be degrees clean and be ready for new parts. So super stoked, super excited. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Much love. Bye-bye.